Hello, I'm Gretchen, and welcome back to Kushly. So if you didn't know, I'm very passionate about working with scrap yarn, scrap fabric, basically knitting and crocheting with no waste. Today, my project is going to be assembling this pillow and stuffing it with scrap yarn and scrap fabric. So I am going to be lining this with this old pillow liner from like an IKEA decorative pillow that I had laying around, as one does. Normally when I would stuff something with scrap yarn, it's dense like this fabric here, and I would just sew the piece together and stuff the scrap yarn right in. But because the front of this pillow has all these little bobbles, which have holes that are big enough that my thumb could go through, and thus that scrap yarn could go through, then I'm going to line this. And so in the past, I've like sewn a pillow form and then stuffed that and then crocheted the cover around it. But I'm gonna try something a little bit different today that frankly I've never tried or even seen anyone else do, but there's a first time for everything. So I'm going to cut out circles from this, but rather than sew up the two pieces of fabric and then use the crochet pieces as a pillow cover, I'm going to sew each circle of fabric to the back of one of these pillow covers. So this will be like a crochet piece with a fabric circle on the back, and then I'll crochet those together like I would to assemble the two sides, and then I'll just stuff that. So let's get started. First of all, I'm going to trace the crochet sides, and ultimately I kind of want the circle to be a bit smaller than the crochet circle because, oh, this pen is not working at all. Because I want to still have the last row of stitches be open and exposed in a way that I could crochet through them, like that they're not sewn through, because I'll need to crochet the two halves together in the end. Okay, so now I think I have a pen that works. It's a Sharpie, so this could be, oh yeah, already got Sharpie in the pillow. Maybe this is not the way to do it. Wow, this is a gift for someone else. Okay, I'm gonna go for it anyways. Okay, so now I have one of the circles outlined, so let's get cutting. So now I have two circles. There we go. So I'm going to pin these down so that I can cut them a little better. Then I will sew them onto the sides, and then I will show you how we're going to stuff them with scrap yarn. And now I have the fabric lining sewn on each of the panels, as you can see there. So I still left like a bit of space along the top so that I can crochet all the way around. So I'm going to start crocheting, and then I have this like mountain of scrap yarn and fabric and stuffing that I am going to put into this pillow. So I'm doing a single crochet border. It might be difficult to line up because the stitch counts aren't the same, but I think I figured it out. It's starting to get attached and going smoothly. The lining is not interfering with the process. I thought it also would be important to let you know that in order to sew the inside on, it was super simple. I didn't actually have to do that much trimming, even after my not so great tracing job. And I just used the whip stitch and handed the fabric on. Now it's kind of looking like a pocket. There's the little Sharpie mark. Now that it's a much smaller opening, I'm going to start stuffing it. I'm going to start with the actual stuffing that came out of a pillow that my sister had made. Ironically, this is going into a pillow for her. I wonder how much I'm going to be able to actually fit inside. You can always get in more stuffing than you anticipate, in my experience. So you want it, ouch, you want it to be full enough that it doesn't compress and deflate super fast after someone's laid their head on it or sat against it. It's kind of fun to see bits of yarn and fabric and remember all the projects I made. So now that I've kind of done a fair bit of stuffing, I'm gonna just continue crocheting before it gets too full. That's much smaller now, little opening, so I'm gonna continue to add some more. This is like really satisfying. And so some of the fabric scraps that I had were bigger, and I just chopped them smaller so that they wouldn't be so solid within the pillow. Kind of the smaller the pieces of yarn or of fabric or even of stuffing, the less stiff the pillow will become and the less lumpy. This thing's like heavy. So I won't get to use up quite all of my scraps, but most of this mountain has disappeared. So I will finish this baby off. And there you have it. This is the completed pillow stuffed purely with recycled materials. I'm so excited to have finished this, and I can't wait to see what my little sister thinks. I'm so happy I finally got to do a scrap yarn project on my YouTube channel because, as I mentioned, using scrap yarn and repurposing materials and generally just approaching knitting and crocheting with a no-waste attitude is something I'm very passionate about. I had never used that technique to line a pillow, and to be honest, I haven't actually crocheted a pillow in a very long time, so that was a lot of fun. Thank you for watching.